Hello, Abraxas here, and I'm going to be playing some SpaceEngine. So it's been a couple days since I've actually done this, and man, have these suggestions built up. I'm going to say now that we're starting to get a lot of subscribers. We actually jumped from 300 to 350 in like 48 hours. It's crazy. But what I wanted to say was, for future SpaceEngine Exploration videos, I'm only going to take like 2 suggestions per person from now on. I can't do like 4 or 5 or anything like that, because these are really just building up a lot. Of course, it's been like 2 days, but yeah, as we get more viewers, like more people are going to want to be suggesting things and all that. So I'm going to have to cut it down to like 2 per person, and if I can't decide on which 2 to visit, I mean, it's just going to be the first 2 that are on the list if somebody suggests like 4 or something like that. So let's go ahead and get started, and we're starting with suggestions from Andromeda, so let's go ahead and check it out. So this one's in a star cluster. Okay, here we go. Let me tone down that music just a little bit. Okay, so it looks like we have a Terra with life. Looks like it has a nice black ring. And there's a continent. So we're in a star cluster sitting above. It's kind of nice. Blue and purple galaxy, and you can see the star right there, which I assume is just a little red dwarf. It certainly is. We're a little bit too close for that not to be. Let's go ahead and land on this and see what we can find. I can already tell now that it has a really nicely generated cloud layer. And here we go. So it looks like we have some nice round hills, kind of an orangish color to them, but that's probably just because of the red dwarf. And we have some kind of texture here. I think it's that tree texture, but the colors are just so off that it looks weird. Not exactly a blue sky. It's kind of a greenish blue, it looks like. A weird color to it, but you can see all these stars just sitting in the daytime sky because of, well, they're just incredibly bright, and we're in a star cluster, so they're really close by. Over here you can see there is some kind of rock texture. It's not using the sedimentary rock, it looks like. Well, it actually is over here. Yeah, it certainly is right over here, so. It has a different detail mapping on it, though. It actually kind of looks like, I always said it looks like roots, like that rock texture there. It looks like shredded tree bark or something. Like, you know how pine trees, if you like split them up, they get really fibrous or something like that? It kind of looks like that. Over there we have kind of a cracked rock texture right there. Very cool. Let's go ahead and check out what the sunset looks like. The game crashed already. Well then. If we're going to be crashing a lot today, this is going to be a very, very long recording. Of course, not for you guys, because I'll be editing it. It's probably going to be very long anyways, because I have a lot of suggestions. Okay, here we go. Just go ahead and go to the dark side of the planet. Ooh, we have a little tiny moon sitting there in the ring. I didn't even notice that before. You see it glowing right there. Hello, little asteroid moon. Wherever you just went. There you are. On the south side of the planet, or lower part, from my perspective. And here we go. Let's just touch down right here. Oh, so kind of a pretty sunset, if you look at that. We got the stars just glowing in the sky there. And over there, I think that is a gas giant, probably. That would be my guess. Oh, no, it's another red dwarf. It's actually another star. Okay. I don't see the galaxy, so something tells me we're not quite at the angle to actually see that. Where's the galaxy sitting? Right over there? Let's try to get into a dark side of the planet where we can actually see this galaxy. I'm just going to touch down here, even if there's water. It looks like there is. And just slow down here. If I was on land, this is probably what I'd be seeing. So you can kind of see the purple spiral in the galaxy there. Kind of fades off to an orangish color as we hit the horizon, so very cool. This planet, it has an ESI of 86%. It is about the size of Earth. The temperature is quite warm because it's actually sitting pretty close to that star. Even though it's a small star, it's still really close to it. And let's see. Atmospheric composition is CO2, oxygen, and nitrogen, and 1.39 atmospheres of pressure. And it's sitting at a semi-major axis of 0.10, so very, very close to this planet. 1/10 of the distance from our planet to our sun. So, really close. That's probably why it looks so big in the sky. So the next edition is again from Andromeda. Let's go ahead and check it out. Get that microphone a little bit closer. Okay, so let's go ahead and check it out. It is at a random star, and it looks like it is the third planet from it, possibly a multiple star system since it starts, or since it has a letter in it. Okay, so let's go. Oh, it's actually not too far from where we just were. It is a temperate Terra, again sitting above this beautiful galaxy. And let's go ahead and touch down on it. So it has an ESI of 86%, just like the last one, I do believe. The diameter is 9,300 kilometers. And it's sitting at a temperature of 19 degrees, with a greenhouse effect of 1 degree. So actually a little bit closer to our Earth, a little bit warmer. And it's sitting at a semi-major axis of 0.10, just like the last one. The atmospheric pressure is 1.37, so actually very similar to the last one once again. And you can see we have kind of a dirt texture there, with some lovely eroded / winded hills. Very cool looking. And you can see there's just a huge flat plane here. The cloud layer is not really too high up in the atmosphere. And again, we kind of have this greenish color going on. Over here we have a volcano with a snow cap on it, actually. Very cool, and it does appear to definitely be active. Even though it looks like some kind of rock, not really so much lava. Over here we have a little bit of water, which looks like it's just a kind of dark color. Yeah, it's a dark blue color. And I imagine the sunset looks very similar to the last one we visited. Again, it has rings on it, nice black rings, and there's the star sitting very, very close. So a very similar star to the previous one we were just at, I assume. And look at that. Oh, okay. I thought it was like a hurricane, but the volcano was like in the eye of the storm of it. Now the eye is a little bit off. But very, very close. Very nice looking hurricane on this planet. And you can see on the horizon of the planet there, like towards the nighttime sky, it has a green color to it. So very cool looking world. And here's a giant there's a hurricane just kind of clipping through. As we get closer, it gets a lot more detailed. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Clouds here. We just fly down the center of it too. And here we are under the storm. Beautiful view. So let's go ahead and move on to the next planet from Andromeda. This one again is in another star cluster, it looks like. Possibly, yeah, it looks like it actually might be the same star cluster. Okay, so we have this gas giant here with life. multicellular aerial life, so it's just sitting in the atmosphere of this gas giant. The gas giant doesn't really have too much detail going on, but it does look like it has another gas giant moon. Or possibly a binary gas giant system. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's a binary gas giant system. Very cool. This one's pink and this one's kind of bluish. Or, nah, it's kind of grayish, but yeah, very awesome. Do they have any moons, possibly? No, they don't. This star apparently has a planet with life, which is this temperate Terra with life. Let's go ahead and check it out. And it looks like it has some nice, beautiful gas giants as well. Okay, so we got a nice purple Terra, it looks like. Possibly a purple atmosphere with red water. That's kind of what it looks like. And a lot of snow. So we're sitting at an atmospheric pressure of 1.27, and we have a temperature of negative 22 degrees, so very cold. And marine and terrestrial life, so we will see life on the land. And an ESI of 89%. The diameter is a little bit bigger than our Earth. And the semi-major axis is 0.57 astronomical units, which means it's probably orbiting around either a red dwarf or an orange dwarf. So let's go ahead and touch down on this. I would assume a red dwarf, considering how cold it is. The atmosphere is carbon dioxide and oxygen. Look at that. That is not a purple atmosphere. That is actually a very beautiful shade of blue. There's rings right over there. Oh wow, really nice. And it looks like we have multiple cloud layers. Let's go ahead and touch down. Immediately I'm seeing some kind of texture here. It looks like kind of the mossy texture. Let's pan across the land and see if we can find some nice views. So it looks like we have a bit of snow here. Ooh, what's going on there? That's the winded, like, sand dune texture, but it's got, like, snow at the top of it, it looks like. And here we are in possibly some type of snowy plain, or this might just be sand, I'm not sure. I want to assume snow. Not seeing any volcanic activity. Let's go ahead and touch down and see what this water looks like. So we got kind of a little marsh thing going on here. The water's running away from me. And yeah, it's kind of a blood red water. You can see that huge, beautiful ring in the background. Starting to get into some more slightly hilly terrain. And as we get over here towards the snow, it doesn't really seem to be getting too hilly. A little bit. We actually have some large life textures, which is that kind of, I don't know what type of plant that is, but it looks like some kind of clover or something. And that's like some mountains. It looks like a satellite image of a mountain over there. This is very cool looking. I really like the life on this planet. Really nicely generated. Apart from the texture scaling being a little bit off. Very cool nonetheless. Very nice suggestion. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one from, once again, Andromeda. And here we go. It is a cold desert. Okay, so we have a beautiful blue desert with some beautiful blue rings. I don't see any moons actually orbiting in the rings. Let's go ahead and touch down right over where this aurora... Oh, wait, there's a moon. Not quite in the rings, though. Let's touch down right where this aurora is happening. I doubt we'll be able to actually see it during the day. So let's try to get towards this dark side right here. And flip us over. Oh, that's a nice view. And a nice pinkish sunset, it looks like. And we have a volcano sitting right here, which is definitely active. You can see the glowing lava on the side. And that one definitely looks more like it's molten. Really nicely generated volcano. Let's go ahead and go over to where these mountains are. Ooh, that got dark pretty quick. We have some nicely detailed cloud layers, but we have two cloud layers. The first one's kind of transparent. It's barely visible. Then the upper one is really nicely detailed, and it's very visible. So it makes for a really nice sunset, and there's our huge glowing rings in the background. Very nice. I'm actually gonna bookmark this position right here. Very cool looking. And what is going on over there? We have a white luminous supergiant, but it's red. We're going to have to go investigate this. Let's go ahead and check that out. Oh, it just faded to blue, so... I know it's a binary system, but what's the other star? Why is this fading to red? What's this? Scorched Desert. There's a star. I don't understand why that's fading to like a reddish color. Oh, this is a brown dwarf? Well, it's not very brown. This is actually very cool. Because this is a brown dwarf that is actually just starting to become a brown dwarf. You can see it's just a large blue gas giant, but it only has one streak of red that's actually heating up. That's incredibly interesting. If you want to visit this, the ID is obviously in the top left, but this is not something I've actually seen before. I've seen it in like a picture on Reddit, but I've not actually seen a brown dwarf that actually has this appearance. Can we actually fly into the cloud layer like gas giants? Oh, we actually kind of can. No, wait, I think it is just a surface. I could be wrong. No, it actually does have a cloud layer. Very cool. So it's actually treated as a gas giant instead of an actual brown dwarf in the game. Let's go and touch down where it's like actually glowing. Oh, that is very cool. Has multiple cloud layers, as is expected. Yeah, that's very awesome. Yeah, nice pinkish aurora going on down here at the bottom. There it is. Now you can see it. And you can see it glowing as it's heated up. Like stripes of like fiery clouds. Very awesome. And let's go ahead and go back to that desert, which I do believe was this planet right here. Was this the desert I was just at? Oh, we're next to the Milky Way galaxy, and there's the Magellanic Cloud. Very cool. So we're actually outside of the Milky Way galaxy. Just kind of sitting astray. No, we were at this cold desert over here. With these beautiful rings. The ESI is very low, but that's expected for a desert. The diameter is actually a little bit smaller than Earth, 80% of the size. Temperature is very cold, negative 90 degrees. 0.6 atmospheres of pressure, and a semi-major axis of 0.08. So it's very, very close to that brown dwarf, or possibly that white luminous supergiant. Very cool. Let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. The next suggestion is from Jack Morgan 101. So let's go ahead and check it out. I think he mistyped one of these IDs, but I think I can correct that. He added this extra dash here, possibly. It looks like it. It says it's a gas giant and a star cluster, which really looks nice from the moons. Okay, so we have some nice large rings going on here. Nice kind of tannish blue, but let's check it out from one of the moons, which I like this moon right here. Let's go ahead and land on this. Ooh, it has rings itself. Very cool. I assume this is a desert? Yeah, it is. Let's go ahead and touch down on this warm desert here. Right here in the setting sky. Just land right here. So there's our beautiful rings, and then we should be able to see this huge gas giant here. Very nice. I love the fact that this planet also has rings. You can kind of see the rings from the gas giant. Not really so much the rings, but more the shadow of the rings on the planet. You can kind of see them glowing there, though. Over there we have another desert just sitting there in our night sky. Let's go ahead and just zoom into it like a telescope and see what we can spot. So I can already see a volcano right there. And it's certainly active. So we'd be able to look up in our night sky and with a telescope and just zoom into this planet and get some pretty nice views. Very cool. Just see the rings are a little bit more apparent when you're actually zoomed in. There's a couple more little asteroid moons there. And here's just this incredibly large gas giant. Of course, to get this close to a gas giant would be kind of difficult because one thing that gas giants kind of output is very, very large amounts of radiation. And you can see the aurora on the gas giant on the lower side there. And you can see it faintly during the daytime sky, but it's more visible at the bottom there. But very cool. Really nice view. And what is that over there? Looks like another desert. Let's go ahead and land on this one over here. And we just touched down in a salt lake. Oh, and that's a completely different view of the gas giant. This one's at like 90 degrees. And you can see a glowing moon there. A little asteroid, I assume. Certainly is. And there's the desert we were just on and the one we were looking at. Really cool. And I think that's a moon actually orbiting within its rings. Let's go ahead and check that out. It certainly is. Very nice. And it looks like we are in some kind of possibly ring galaxy. Let's go ahead and back out here and see what type of galaxy we're in. Oh yeah, it looks like some kind of ring / spiral galaxy. Very nice. The next one, once again from Jack Morgan 101. He says he can't really describe it, but it looks nice and has life. So let's go ahead and check that out. So it is a cool desert with life. So I'm immediately seeing it's a purple desert, and it looks like we have some kind of weird polar caps going on. That snow field right there is just kind of in the daytime sky, and it looks like we have a cap right here. Let's go ahead and check out the cap. I assume the life is our Zerg creep, as is very common with these purple planets. So I imagine this is our life. It certainly is. And let's just pan upwards and check out the polar cap. So this isn't so much of a polar cap, it's actually kind of dipped in a little bit. It's at a lower elevation than everything else, so it's more of a just lake, I guess I would say. Lack of a better word. The compositions on this planet are CO2, oxygen, and sulfur dioxide. But the atmosphere is so incredibly thin. So this life is probably not surviving way too much on the actual elements in the atmosphere. Look at this little tiny volcano next to this kind of larger volcano. Oh wait, these are not active, but they have life in them as well, as you can see right here. Very cool. So yeah, I don't know how life would actually be able to survive in such a thin atmosphere, but it looks like it's capable. It's got to make very, very efficient use of its energy. Very nice. Let's go ahead and check out this snowy field over here. And it is sitting at negative 42 degrees Celsius. So it looks like we have some hills and we just have like snow just kind of scattered around here. So we have something going on. Oh, the texture is a little bit too low resolution. As we get more and more into here, though, the snow texture becomes more and more prominent. Got kind of actually nicely eroded hills, I think. With kind of that desert winded thing going on, as you can see. Very cool looking. Really like the way it actually generated at the edge of it. It's kind of, not so much I would say natural. I mean, I wouldn't really know, to be honest. It just really blends into the normal terrain a lot better than those basically very, very steep polar caps do. Very nice. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one, which is, again, slightly mistyped. And he doesn't have a description for this one, but again, it's from Jack Morgan 101. So it is a cool desert in a completely different galaxy. Oh, and this one actually has a really nice kind of blue color to it. Let's go ahead and touch down. The size of the planet is actually very similar to our Earth, the diameter. The ESI is 73%. The atmospheric composition is probably quite toxic. The atmosphere is 0.74 atmospheres of pressure. Looks like we have a really nice detailed cloud layer here too. And the semi-major axis is really, really close to its star. Like, basically a moon kind of close. Incredibly close, okay. It is a cool desert, though. What's going on with this star, then? White main sequence star. Oh, no, that's what... Okay, no, this is a moon. Okay, that's why. That's why the semi-major axis is so low. That explains a lot. Okay, so it looks like we have snow on this hill right here. So we have some snow caps sitting on these mountains. And you can actually see the aurora during the day, which is not too common. But it's definitely visible, so very nice. I assume this is probably a dimmer planet than it actually is shown in the game, so let's go ahead and turn on real planet brightness. And yeah, there you go, that's a much better view. The star is sitting quite far away, and we have some really nicely generated hills here. They're pretty well eroded. It's using the sedimentary rock texture with a kind of cracked rock mapping on it, detail mapping, and yeah, really nicely generated. Let's see if we can get a view of that host planet. There it is. This might be a dual planetary system, but I've yet to actually check. The sunset is kind of a greenish, fades off to a blue. I don't know if we're in a star cluster. I do believe we are, and you can see that view of that galaxy right there. Which is... I don't think that's the Milky Way galaxy. Oh wait, I think we're actually in an elliptical galaxy, a small elliptical galaxy. And that might be the Milky Way. Let's click on that. Oh, that is Milky Way. Okay, so we're in one of the elliptical galaxies that sit above our Milky Way galaxy. And let's go ahead and touch down right here. So, can we see our sister planet? Doesn't appear so. Where is that sister planet? There it is. Let's go right over here where it's kind of glowing blue. And there we go. We have this blue glow of the kind of shine just on the atmosphere. And you can see the Milky Way galaxy just glowing right there as well. Very nice. Let's go ahead and zoom in. So this is a blue desert as well. So I assume these are very similar looking when we pan out. No, that one's actually kind of got more of a purplish hue. This one's just blue. Kind of looks like a blue Mars or something. Go ahead and check this one out. Which is quite a bit bigger. It's actually nearly twice the size. The temperature is negative 80 degrees. Again, not a very breathable atmospheric composition. The atmospheric pressure is actually a lot greater on this one, though. And these both sit at a semi-major axis of 5.17 astronomical units, so 5 times as far away from that star as Earth sits from our sun. Very cool, and let's see if these are actually a binary system. Technically, they are, but just barely. So it is actually a dual planetary system. Very cool. Okay, so the next suggestion is from Boba Fett, and let's go ahead and check it out. He says it is an amazing beige gas giant with purple rings and 7 planetary moons. I'm not going to be able to get around to all of them. I'm just going to say that now. So, actually, I have real planet brightness on, one sec. That's better. Yeah, is that beige? Beige is kind of a cream color, I would say. This is more of a, kind of a brownish color, kind of a tannish color. Like beige, I would think like this cloud right here, or it's kind of lighter. That's more of like a beige color. This is kind of more of a... Think like a French vanilla coffee creamer or something like that. Something like that. And kind of some grayish lines going through it. But it's kind of cool how that looks like it's almost like split by different like cloud layers. Or, well, you see like these lines, it looks like it's just kind of intruding onto the like creamish color. But yeah, we have some very bright purple rings, and I already see one of the planetary worlds right there. Let's go ahead and turn off orbit so we don't have these lines in the sky. And this just looks like just a cold desert. No, it's actually a hot desert. So it's probably being acted upon with tidal forces. Wow, that is a interesting view. Okay, let's go ahead and flip around real quick. So we have, yeah, our basic desert. The atmospheric pressure is 2.05. CO2, water, sulfur dioxide, and I think methane. I could be wrong. C2H2, that's methane, right? No, that's not. That's not methane. Got it incorrect. Acetylene. That's what I got right here on Google. Whatever. Anyways, yeah, you can see the star there. It's kind of diffused in the atmosphere. So, the huge gas giant just sitting there. Actually very, very faint in the atmosphere considering how close we are. So that kind of tells me that, yeah, we definitely have like a very diffused atmosphere. You can't even really see the details of the gas giant except for like that cloud right there. You actually see that we can actually see the rings pretty like clearly. They're actually pretty prominent, which means we're not actually sitting exactly on the same like plane as the rings. So that's rather interesting. Let's check out this planet right here, which I think actually is a little bit closer. This one is, yeah, a hot desert, but the difference is, oh, no, that's not what I thought at all. Okay, so as I land here, you see we have like kind of a gravel texture. This one is not only being acted upon with tidal forces, but it's also 439 atmospheres of pressure. But we can see the gas giant a little bit better. That's probably just because we're in the sunset. Let's go ahead and move over to where it's a little bit brighter. And you can see the star just completely diffuses in its super thick atmosphere. And the gas giant itself actually is still quite visible. But as you see, the rings are kind of a lot less visible. So that says that we're kind of closer to the axis of the rings with this planet. Very cool, and you can see the glowing red clouds from its immense heat. It's basically Venus. And let's just check out the other worlds that are around here. So this is this gas giant, I do believe. And we have a cold ice world, so let's go ahead and check that out. Oh, we got some disco craters going on. Very cool. Does it actually? It does actually have an atmosphere. It's just super, super thin. Basically, not even there. And the rest looks like they're just smaller ice worlds. So, very nice. Actually, a pretty cool find, because, like I said, these two warmer ones are definitely a lot closer, and I think it's actually tidal forces that are heating them up. Oh, and here's a very nice one with some nice little spiral clouds. This is just a cold desert, and the atmosphere is not so thick. So let's go ahead and touch down right here. So we have some kind of nice hills here. No life or anything like that, but it kind of looked like that purple life texture, but it's just cracked rocks. And where? Oh, we have two cloud layers. There's a star, so it should be like this direction, right? Maybe? Let's click on the gas giant. No, it's over there. Oh, hello, gas giant. So this one, we're sitting kind of above the plane of the rings. So the only one that's actually kind of in line with the rings is that very first one with the super thick atmosphere. Or actually, yeah, the blue one. It's not the one with the super thick atmosphere, it's just the blue one. Well, we have another suggestion, again from Boba Fett. And I don't know if I mentioned that this is suggested by Boba Fett. And he says, it's a lovely purple gas giant with 3 desert moons. So let's go ahead and check that out. Okay, so we do have a nice purple gas giant. Kind of has blue fading in, and then kind of that beige-ish color also kind of mixed in. So really nice. Actually, really cool looking gas giant. It actually reminds me of those purple deserts that you find occasionally. The ones that do and don't have life. It definitely looks like one of those, but in like kind of a gas giant form. And it has 3 desert moons. So let's go ahead and touch down on this blue one right here, the nearest one, which is very, very warm, 735 degrees. But as you can see, it's very close to the gas giant. So let's go ahead and touch down on this. This is actually, it's a warm gas giant, so it might just be the star this time actually acting upon it. Because it's a fair distance away. Yeah, we're pretty close to the star as well. Which does have a lot of small asteroids around it, so that kind of says that it's still actually in an early stage. In fact, let's click on the star. We should be able to see its age. Yeah, I don't know what that actually translates to. If somebody wants to put that down in the comments. I think that's actually a relatively young star, though. So let's go ahead and land right here once again. And it looks like we have kind of the cracked salt lake texture, and there is our gas giant in the sky. And you can actually see a lot of the small asteroids and stuff that are actually orbiting around the star, even from the daytime sky, which is very cool. We got some nice eroded / winded hills, as you can see. And what is going on over here? I think that is just view distance. Is this hill actually really just that pointy? Let's see what happens when it renders in. Oh yeah, pointy hill. We got the sedimentary rock texture, just kind of making up the desert cliffs. Very nice. Let's go to the night sky, which is right over here, where these fiery clouds are. But it should be illuminated by the gas giant as well. Ah yes, we can see the gas giant in much better detail and color. Okay, so we have another world here. This one has a much thinner atmosphere, so we might be able to see the gas giant a little bit better from it. So let's just go and dive right into the night sky. And here we are. See the galaxy sitting there in the background with the gas giant just very, very illuminated right here in the back. And you can see the desert hills just kind of against the night sky. But as you can see, there's not too much of a color shift going on with the galaxy here, because the atmosphere is super thin and super low lying, so very interesting. Let's go ahead and touch down where we could actually see the sunlight and just get an idea what the sunset looks like on this super thin atmosphere planet. I kind of flew a little bit too fast there. Right here should do. So it's kind of the same color all around. Very cool. Let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion, once again from Boba Fett. And he says it's a beautiful purple Terra with bright red rings, blood red water, and 1 moon. Oh man, this is crazy. I'm just gonna note now that it's been like 40 minutes of recording. It's probably gonna be cut down to like 35 or 30 or something like that by the time I'm actually saying this. But yeah, I'm not even halfway through, so this is probably going to be upwards to like an hour and 30 minute, 2 hour long episode. But like I said, future episodes, 2 suggestions max per person. And if somebody suggests more, I'm only going to go for the first 2 on their list. So let's go ahead and land. We have an active volcano here. The Terra is 8,400 kilometers in diameter, so 65% of that of Earth. Quite a bit smaller planet. The ESI is 86%. There's no life on this planet. Let me go ahead and close that. It is sitting at a semi-major axis of 17.49 astronomical units, but the temperature is 15 degrees Celsius, which tells me this is actually orbiting a rather hot star, rather active star. And here's some of that blood red water that was mentioned. And it's sitting at 6 atmospheres of pressure, or 5.99, so basically 6. Very cool. And let's just check out this water a little bit more. So we have red water. You can see the star actually shines kind of orange. And there's the star. So we are apparently at a semi-major axis of 17 astronomical units. That is an orange giant. So it's a orange star basically going through its giant phase. It's not quite at the end of its life, but it is basically growing. You see there is one cloud layer here, kind of bumpy, as you can kind of tell by these kind of glitched out polygon things going on, and apparently has bright red rings, which from this angle just look black, but let's get over to the other side. As you can see, we're in an elliptical galaxy. On. Cool, let's see if we can get the star to shine on that. Where's that star at? The star doesn't quite want to shine on it, it doesn't appear. Yeah, it does if we actually get in the atmosphere. You can kind of see the shine from it. Where's that moon? It looks like it's just a Selena? Yeah. Okay, it looked kind of like an asteroid from a distance, but a very, very large asteroid, and I just landed on it. Kind of a nice orange Selena, and can't really see too much with these elliptical galaxies, but if I go ahead and just bump up the star magnitude a bit. There we go. Now the elliptical galaxy is looking a little bit better. Which elliptical galaxy is this? It seems rather large. I see 1101. Yeah, I could have guessed. So it looks like we have 2 suggestions from This Is Not Interesting, which, by the way, I have not actually seen you suggest anything in a while, so very cool to see that you're back. Okay, so let's see. Let's go ahead and load this in. Oh no, it's not actually loading. Ah, dang. Let's try the second suggestion from This Is Not Interesting. Okay, this one loaded. I was going to say that sucks if neither of them loaded. Your second one loaded. The first one, not so much. So, here we are. It is a rogue planet sitting inside the Milky Way, it looks like. Yeah, there's Barnard's Loop right there. Okay, so we have a rogue planet actually pretty close to our own system. Let's go ahead and turn up the ambient lighting so we can actually see the details of this world. Oh, it's actually a really small world. It's actually sitting at a diameter of only 972. It's a moon. Wait a minute, this is a moon. Where's the host planet? Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say this is like a dwarf planet or something. It's only like a diameter of 972 kilometers. It's not big at all. But no, it's actually a moon. It's sitting around this lovely blue gas giant here. But of course, if I just default this, we can't actually see this gas giant because, well, it's just a rogue planet. There's no sun. But if we go over here, we see that it has some nice gray rings. How big is this gas giant? Actually, not too big in diameter. Very cool. And what moons does it actually have? Looks like just a bunch of frozen ice worlds. Oh wait, it actually has a warm desert. Check that out. It's actually sitting at 100 degrees Celsius. This is being warmed entirely by tidal forces. In fact, if you guys saw yesterday's video of Universe Sandbox 2, I actually did something very similar to this, where I actually took advantage of Luna to actually heat up Earth, if Earth actually went into a rogue planet. So it was actually a very cool little video, and a cool little concept. But very nice. Okay, so our next planet is from Derpsauce Gaming and Vendematrix? I don't know. Some planet name that I cannot pronounce, but he says it is an ice world with moons and it has disco craters. So let's go ahead and check it out. Oh, it actually did load. Here we go. Ooh, it's kind of green in color too. Has some large cracks in it. Close that. Oh wait. Reset the ambient. There we go. That's much better. And where are the disco craters? I was told there was disco craters. I am going to be very, very disappointed if there's not disco craters. I am not seeing disco craters. I feel like I was lied to. All I see is this little hurricane here, but that's not a disco crater. You're not disco craters. But it looks like we have some kind of colorful rings. Let's go ahead and look at that. Kind of a greenish pink color, it looks like. Green and pink just kind of blended in. Hmm. Oh no, he's saying the moons have disco craters, which, yeah, I can kind of see that. There's one right there. There's the disco craters. Okay. I'll let you off this time. We definitely do have disco craters on this one. Oops, and I just skipped around that. Is that Andromeda in the background? Yeah, it's Andromeda. We're in the Milky Way. Here's a disco crater, which is like the entire reason we came to visit this planet. No other reasons. I mean, whatever. We just came for the disco craters. Oh wow, that actually looks kind of a lot different from this moon's point of view. The rings actually look a lot more green than they do, but when you actually get closer, they're quite pinkish. And you can see there's a couple small asteroid moons. Are these actually orbiting around each other, these little asteroids? Or are they just very close in their orbit currently? I think they're just very close in their orbit. Let's go ahead and bring up the dwarf moon. Okay, yeah, they're just close in orbit. I thought that would have been kind of cool if there was like a little orbiting asteroids orbiting around the planet itself. And this thing looks like it has a lot of moons. That is this world, correct? Oh yeah, it's got a lot of moons just kind of orbiting around here. But over here we actually have a hot Oceania with what looks like blood red water. Kind of looks like that suggested by the thumbnail. Let's go ahead and slow down and see if we can... Let's just press the land button. There we go. I can't really tell from this angle. Oh yeah, it's got red water. Which is less apparent because there's no actual land to compare it with. It just looks dark and oily. Nice. The next suggestion, once again from Derp Sauce Gaming, says it has a really close blue-green rings, life, and a desert moon. Which he's just pointing out a star, I think. Let's go ahead and check it out. Now it's called gas giant with life. Okay. So I'm seeing kind of a bluish ring system around a tan gas giant with a desert moon. So let's go ahead and check out the desert moon. Which is definitely on the warmer side. You can see the clouds are actually kind of glowing there. It's actually sitting at 178 degrees Celsius. The atmosphere is not too bad. It's actually thinner than our Earth's atmosphere. And look at that. You can see the magellanic clouds just kind of hanging out back there. And there's our gas giant just sitting very prominent in the sky. Illuminating the backside of this world. Very cool. And it has life. I didn't even notice that. The gas giant itself actually has aerial life, so there's very likely bacteria or something sitting in the cloud layers of that. Which... that kind of confuses me. It would have to be life that can like withstand heavy radiation and stuff like that that'd be casted by such a large gas giant. I would assume. So the concept of aerial life is pretty interesting. I don't know how that would actually happen. Maybe life on the rings or something like that? That'd be kind of cool. But I'm just not too sure. I haven't really dove into reading any articles or anything about aerial life and gas giants and stuff. It's a theoretical thing. So, Derp Sauce Gaming has another suggestion. He says go to HIP something something something, which is a beautiful Terra moon with life in an atmosphere that kind of look like Venus's. That's going to be like super thick. Let's go ahead and check that out. And the atmospheric pressure is actually less than that of... way less. Let's turn on the ambient lighting real quick. Okay, there's continents right there. The continents, it seems to just be like kind of a supercontinent in a way. It's just all kind of sitting like in the north hemisphere. The southern hemisphere of this planet is basically all water. It's an Oceania. You can see there's a deep crater right there where that dark hit is right there in the water. And it has polar caps on the northern and southern regions. You can see the clouds at the equator like alternate directions, so kind of Earth-like in that regard. Let's go ahead and land and check this out. So here we go. You can see the mountains there kind of sitting above the cloud layer. And we can see a bunch of volcanoes that are just kind of sticking out. The clouds don't seem to be very high altitude at all. That's a very tall volcano. And you can see the sedimentary rock kind of generated on it as well. Kind of this blue and... what color is that? I don't even know what color that is. I want to say tan, but I don't know if that's even tan. So we got kind of a blue atmosphere going on here. Kind of that desaturated atmosphere. You can see the clouds just kind of sitting very close to us. And I do believe that's a seam in the clouds. Yeah, that certainly was. Actually has 2 layers of clouds, as you can see. What's going on here? Oddly generated. Kind of cool looking. Smoothly generated, that's for sure. We had an erosion effect right there. Very, very interesting way that this actually is generated right here. Like, that just seems very weird. Was it trying to generate a river, possibly? That might be it. It might have actually been trying to... yeah, it's actually trying to generate a river there. Okay, so it's just a dry riverbed. And over here, I think there's actually water at the bottom. Yeah, there certainly is. Okay, that's what's going on. That was confusing me for a minute. This mountain kind of looks like it just had a fat bite taken out of it. Oh, you can see that there's actually mountain hills being generated on the side of the volcano, too. Very nice. Very cool looking world. I imagine the sunset is quite bluish. It certainly is. As we just kind of travel through here, we can see that the sunrise is just blue. And I think we are still in the Milky Way galaxy. And look at that. There's a gas giant. We're actually on a moon. Which if I go ahead and go over here. Here we are. So there is life apparently on this moon. Let's go ahead and see if we can find that. It's right over here next to this volcano. Nice green life, marine and terrestrial life on this planet. Can't quite see the texture. Oh wait, it's the grass texture. There we go. And we got generated terrain over here in that very, very large volcano. This is actually what I would think to be very, very natural looking. The volcano, like that is a really nicely generated volcano. Until I fly over to the top and watch it just be like completely broken or something like that. No, this is actually a really, really well generated volcano. Which is actually kind of uncommon in this game. It's actually really nice. Beautiful view. I'm actually gonna go ahead and just add this position and I'm gonna pause time here. There we go. Really nice view. That would actually make like for a very, very cool like 360 video or something like that. Possibly? Maybe. Yeah, I really like that. Nice world. So the next suggestion is from... it's like Zircon X. And he says, I've outdone myself for you. You should keep this in for a big video. It's a whole system with wonderful... okay, well, this is a big video. I can already say that now. So let's just go ahead and check it out. 3 planets with life. 2 of them are beautiful terras. One of these is around a gas giant. All in a beautiful pink galaxy on a collision course. You should take a spin around the galaxies. It's a massive cluster. Beautiful sights all around. Well, try to get through what I can. So we're going to a yellow dwarf, it looks like. Yep, basically very similar to our sun. And we have a warm terra with life right over here. Oxygen, CO2, nitrogen, sulfur dioxide. Any massive continents on this planet? Well, I am, but I mean, they're not like taking up the entire planet. So it's kind of an ocean world, kind of like our Earth. And we have the kind of sedimentary rock texture, and we have like flat plains on top of these hills, which I don't see very common. You only really see that with like kind of what are they called? I guess canyon generated hills or something like that. Not sure. We have the grass texture with kind of an orange overlay, which kind of makes it not very prominent in the texture. Didn't mention before, sedimentary rock, and it looks like we have some kind of nice hill erosion going on here from just water over the years running down the hillsides. But these are just like very, very spiky hills, just kind of in the middle of nowhere. Like, it's all flat all around here. Like an exception to this, possibly. Which just looks a little bit more natural right over here. The way the hills just kind of proceed upwards a little bit. Kind of like a smooth gradient rather than just kind of abrupt. Very nice. Not quite generated all the way over here. There we go. So very cool. Very natural looking. Life texture, I assume, just continues to be the grass texture. Yeah, it is. So very nice looking. And from the night sky, can we actually see anything kind of interesting in the night sky at all? Let's see. Actually land. Let's go ahead and just turn the ambient lighting just up ever so slightly. Like that much. Maybe a bit more. And let's just see if I can spot some land. Yeah, I certainly can. So let's go ahead and touch down right over here. And is there anything interesting in the night sky? Ah, there it is. The big pink galaxy you were talking about. It's actually kind of purplish on my screen, I would say. But I love the way those clouds are actually just kind of blocking things out like that. That's actually really cool. You can see like there's just a line of clouds and you just see this huge glow of like the center of the galaxy. And is this a spiral galaxy or is this a ring galaxy? It looks kind of like a ring galaxy based on the clouds, but let's go ahead and check that out. So we're obviously on the outskirts of the galaxy. Oh yeah, it's kind of... It's a spiral galaxy for sure, but the way those clouds are is just super interesting. And there's the center galactic cluster. Let's go ahead and see if we can find that black hole. Since we're already here, I would have assumed it was that dot. Maybe it's this dot? No. This dot. Nope. Okay, fine. Fine. I'll do it the boring way. Whoosh, it was this blue dot. And there's a central black hole in the center of this galaxy. Very cool. Let's go ahead and check out this gas giant here, which does not have life, but it does have like a little compact ring. An adorable little tiny ring here. It's actually a nice kind of vibrant green against the blue color. But what does have life, whoops, let's go back, is one of its moons, which is this temperate terra with life. So we have some nice polar caps on the north and south of the planet. I just decreased my field of view. Yep, there we go. Look at that, there's an irregular galaxy right over there. Just kind of protruding its way into the scene. Okay, so let's go ahead and touch down right over here where all these volcanoes are. And the aurora. Smacked right into the ground. So nice bumpy hills here, and you can see the gas giant just kind of hovering in the back there. Can't quite see the aurora. I could actually see part of the galaxy, though. Which is very interesting. In the daytime sky, that's actually very unusual. And we have a nice snowy volcano. Very nice. And there's the aurora, which is actually visible from the day, provided you're actually up on these polar caps. Okay, so I'm back. I'm gonna have to relaunch everything here. Let's get the music playing again. Okay, so... SpaceEngine, or not SpaceEngine, OBS just crashed on me in the middle of that recording. I'd had to go through and close it through Task Manager, and thankfully, the recording's not corrupted. I could actually use it. So I was on Zircon X's suggestion, I believe, and I was looking at the galaxies in the area. So let's go ahead and check that out. I was at the end of the recording, I was on a Terra, but I'm going to continue off from checking out these galaxies you mentioned. So let's go ahead and move on. Here we go. And it's in a galactic cluster, so let's go ahead and check out some of these galaxies. So here's a star. We have this beautiful purple galaxy here. Very nice. And I saw back here, I believe, that's a purple galaxy. Oh yeah, it's an irregular galaxy. But there's actually more. Let's go ahead and fly around. Oh yes, there's a spiral galaxy, another irregular galaxy, and another one. So it's 3 irregular galaxies. We have the spiral galaxy here. Here's a spiral galaxy we were just in. And this is apparently a very dense cluster. So there's a bunch of the galaxies, and you can just see there's actually galaxies everywhere around here. As I get closer and closer to them, they just keep popping in. There's a ring galaxy there, another, I think, ring galaxy? No, that's a spiral galaxy. And it's just very cool. They just keep popping in. They're just everywhere. It's a huge, dense cluster of galaxies, as you can see here. So very nice. On the other side here, we have another irregular galaxy. And another irregular galaxy. They're all blue, if you notice that. All the irregular galaxies. I just find that a little bit confusing. And yeah, it's just super dense over here. So very nice. So let's go ahead and go back to this yellow dwarf, and let's check out the last planet with life, which is this ice world. It's actually subglacial, so we won't actually be able to visualize it. But there's apparently life on this little glacial planet here. Very cool. You see so many galaxies in the sky, it's crazy. And we're on the outskirts of this galaxy, so we're not even like really in this galaxy too much. We're actually, if I back out here, we're actually in like a little tiny cloud right there at the edge of the galaxy. So it's super cool. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion, which is from Ryan Dean. He said, look up KIC 101890. Oh, and he has a lot of details on it, so I'll glance over that. So it's a blue main sequence star. He says there's 3 Earth-sized planets detected by Kepler with orbital periods of 5, 8, and 20 hours. Closest one has an SMA, or 7 major axis, of 0.005 astronomical units. Where's that? Oh, it's like like kind of oval-shaped star. So it must be spinning incredibly fast, because that is really oval-shaped. It looks like they probably screwed up the diameter of the star, though. Oh, it's doing this again. So if I can see it. There's the comet tail right there. So, yeah, the game didn't generate the star properly. So if I turn on comet tails, you can see that there's actually a planet inside of this star. I don't know if it's actually going to be visible from here. But the planet actually generated in the star. And this is another star that's sitting outside the Milky Way. This actually happened in a previous video where I called it Weird Bugged Out Star. So, oh yeah, you actually commented on that video. So yeah, this is another star doing kind of the same effect. Very interesting. And he says that they got the mass correct. It's B-type subdwarf star. But in SpaceEngine, the diameter is 4.8 solar diameters. Where the SDB stars, usually it has a diameter of 0.3 or 0.5 solar diameters. So it's an incredibly big star. But if I click on the star here, you can actually see the planets. This one, you see the white background going on there? So it's like clipped into the star here. I'm just going to smack into the star and just going to glitch out. Yeah, I've tried that before. But yeah. Can't actually visit that planet. This one over here, oh, it's also stuck in the star, and that's the furthest one from it. So yeah, they're all stuck in there. Well, nonetheless, that's pretty cool. It's another weird bugged out star. The next 2 suggestions are from Dangerous Dude 01. Let's go ahead and check that out. He says he doesn't know if this exists in the new version. The odds are it probably doesn't, from my experience. If it's from a previous version, it's probably not going to load. And if it does, yeah, if it does, it's typically something completely differently generated, just reusing the IDE. What about this one? Yeah, you don't know if this one exists either? No, it doesn't. So, unfortunately, no, it doesn't really work. Golden Bros VK wants me to go to Proxima Centauri. I've been there a few times. Let's go ahead and just jump on over there anyways. So, Proxima Centauri, which has a very cool planet, which I do believe is this one with life I'm sure you're referring to, which is a recent discovery. And here it is, Proxima Centauri 4, or Proxima 4. Basically, it's a similar planet that we do believe might actually have life on it, simply because it is actually kind of matching the specifications that we think are actually very, very Earth-like, so it's very cool. It's sitting in the habitable zone of Proxima Centauri, which is very nice. In this game, it's a frozen titan with life, but it does have terrestrial life, which is a little bit odd for a titan. You can find some of that. I do believe that's it. That's it right there, unless that's just ice. Hard to really tell. Yeah, I think that's life right there. I could be wrong. But yeah, basically, I'm assuming this is the planet you want me to visit. I've visited it, I believe, in previous episodes before. But, yeah, it's just very cool. It's kind of funny that it just decided, hey, let's just make this planet have life. Just because, oh yeah, it might possibly have life. It's like, screw it, let's throw in life. Anyways, the next suggestion is from James X2. He wants me to visit 55 Cancri E, something like that. I don't know how it's pronounced. I'll just slap it in here. It'd probably be 55 CNC, probably CNC, and then probably the E. That's probably the one he wants me to go to. Yeah, that's correct. Which, okay, so we have this scorched desert, which I can only presume is next to a star. Oh, okay. I still have comet tails up. Whoops. So it does have a comet tail, obviously. That's very prominent at this point. And you can see it's very close to the star. We have a tidally locked storm that's kind of bugging out a little bit. And it has an orbital period of 17 hours. Okay. As I said, this looks very similar to a planet I visited very recently, actually. And let's just touch down right here. And there's a huge star just sitting there in the, I mean, you can call that a sunset, but the sun doesn't really set on this planet, and, yeah. It's kind of engulfing the entire planet, so, I mean, you can call it a sunset all you want. It's not really a sunset. One thing I'm not noticing is there's not really any flaming clouds in the back, though, even though the temperature of this planet is 969 degrees Celsius. So, I guess that's just kind of noteworthy. We do have a pretty big aurora going on, which means we probably have some pretty intense magnetic fields, but it's still way too close to the star for that to even matter. And it's still just going to burn away with this huge, huge comet tail just spanning across the system. Very cool. Was it this planet in particular you wanted me to visit, or is there any other ones that I should check out? We have this little orange dwarf over here. A dwarf. Oh yeah, it looks like we have a bunch of gas giants as well. Galileo, Brahe, Harriet, and Lippershey. Very cool. None of these have moons, since named gas giants rarely do. Yeah, pretty cool that they're actually all named. And Jansen. It's always nice seeing, like, exoplanets actually have names and stuff in the game. Like, it's pretty cool. And yeah, that's a huge plume comet tail from that star. And over there's Barnard's Loop. And there's Magellanic Clouds. Very nice. Jackson Morris, this is a Universe Sandbox suggestion, says make the star VY Scatai. It's actually UI Scatai, and I don't know how to do that without actually making it explode. It's kind of a difficult feat. The next suggestion is from Quinn Alexander. He has two suggestions. He says, sorry I haven't suggested anything in the last few days. I've been out of town and destroyed your phone by accident. Oh, that sucks. I know that feeling. I don't actually break a lot of phones. No, actually, no. I've only broken one phone, And I got it from like glide.com, and the thing had like the screen, the digitizer was like slightly popped out, and I tried popping it back in and it cracked, and I was like, oh, well, fuck it, I'm sending this back. Yeah, use phone sites. Meh. Other than that, I haven't really broken any other phones ever. I've dropped them quite a few times, but I've never actually broke them. I always get good cases. Like my current phone has an OtterBox case. But yeah, stop rambling and let's check out this beautiful Terra with life near the Trifid Nebula, I think that says. And let's go ahead and check that out. Shouldn't be too far away since it's named Nebula. Okay, so, oh wow, we have some huge polar caps going on here. Let's go ahead and just land next to one of them. I assume they're going to be incredibly tall as well. Yeah, they are. I could already tell from here. And sorry for the background noise. It seems like the garbage truck is here. And you can just see a star there with a beautiful nebula. You can just see these huge polar caps with a nice purple atmosphere. So this apparently has life. I assume maybe this purple stuff is life? Oh, it certainly is. Check that out. Oh, that's kind of a cool view. Okay, that's not so much a cool view. That's kind of a cool view. What's going on with these hills over here? Spiky. Yeah, the polar caps, they generate some very weird hills. And let's just see if we can find kind of a continent that's not completely frozen over. Well, this is about our best bet right here, I think I would say. Touchdown right over here. Thought I was going to touch down the water, but it did that one weird effect. Got a little bit of a snare drum action going on with this song, I guess. Actually, I haven't heard this song yet, and got kind of a grass texture going on here. It's kind of electronic, I would say. So we got like grass texture mixed in with whatever this blue stuff is, it looks like. I noticed purple life just kind of seems to have its own little variety of textures. But yeah, very cool. There's not much of an atmosphere going on here, 0.71, so I mean it's almost that of Earth, 71%. But it doesn't actually appear to be too prominent when you're actually on the planet. Like if I look off into the distance, you can basically still see space. So the atmosphere is not incredibly thick. Of course, I think I'm on the polar cap, which is at a much higher altitude. So let's go to a lower altitude. Yeah, the atmosphere is just not all that thick. You can still see stars and stuff in the sky. It's got a diameter of 15,000 kilometers, so 1.17 Earths in diameter pretty much, so 117%. Has an ESI of 86. Okay. And a semi-major axis of 0.26 astronomical units. There's a parent star, which is a red dwarf. Yes. So a really cool little world. Let's get that off the screen. And this would be the world right here. So very nice. And we just have like some kind of not very tall snow-covered volcanoes, and you can see them also in the polar caps here. Very cool and very, very shiny. Next one is a Titan with life near Pleiades. Let's go ahead and check that out. Let's get rid of that question mark. Oh yeah, it is next to the Pleiades Nebula. Or, well, it's not really a nebula, but yeah. Okay, so this has life, apparently. And it's marine and terrestrial. Let's see if we can actually see the life on this Titan. Should be more visible, I would say. Maybe right over here. That looks like life. Possibly? Maybe. I'm not too sure. Got a nice blue atmosphere, which I assume if I turn on real planet brightness, because the Titan is just going to get much darker. Yeah, that looks a lot better. But I like to be able to see, so let's see if we can find that life. No, it just looks like ice. Possibly at the shoreline? It's really hard to tell. It's very cool looking, though. We're actually next to a binary star system. Possibly over here. What's this blue stuff? That might just be ice. Hard to tell. We have some beautiful rings, though. Oh, we have a lot of Selena moons. It's just dirt. That ain't life. That's not this blue stuff, is it? Actually, it might just be this blue stuff. Nonetheless, very cool. Oh yeah, we have some nice shadows going on here. There's the stars reflecting in the ring. Kind of a pinkish sunset, it looks like. Let's get over to these shadows here. Alright, very cool. Let's find some terrain. Ah yes, there we go. So we got some terrain, nice shine there. Liking that. Now let's just turn on that real planet brightness. Oh yeah, that's very cool looking. Check that out. That's a nice view. You just see the two stars there. Very awesome. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion, which is from Wrath of Vader. And wants me to go to a random galaxy. Apparently it has a weird texture. Apparently it's a spiral galaxy, it says in the description. But it's a morph shape due to a collision. Here we go. Yeah, it's a spiral galaxy on the chart there. Okay, so that's a galaxy, and apparently it's morphed due to a collision. You know what? I think this is generated slightly differently, but I think it is actually reusing a texture from one of the Magellanic Clouds. Let me go back to the Milky Way. So where's the Magellanic Clouds at? They should be somewhere around here. There they are. Check this out. It looks like possibly it's reusing like this texture or something, but like has been turned blue rather than purple. I've seen it before. There's actually galaxies that reuse the Milky Way's texture a lot and stuff like that, but possibly, maybe, I don't know. Or maybe it's just a spiral galaxy, but the size is so small that it kind of just cropped it. That could be a possibility. It could just be the center of a spiral galaxy being utilized here, because the game does like to do that too. Not too sure, but it's really flat. I don't even see dust clouds and stuff. It's just glowing. A lot like the Magellanic Clouds. Yeah, I'm not too sure. Very interesting find. But yeah, I'd probably classify this as like an irregular galaxy, not a spiral galaxy, and my game just crashed, so one moment. So I have one from Swagger Jagger, who wants me to visit Kepler 58-1c. Haven't been to Kepler 58-1. Okay, I see B, I don't see C, so let's just go over to B and see if I can find it from there. No, there's no 58-1c. The game just doesn't have it in the catalog yet. If that's a new discovery, it'll probably be available in probably a future update or later on. But it's not apparently, yeah, it's apparently not in this version of the game, unfortunately. But here is B, which is tidally locked with that star right there. You can tell by this giant storm. So, pretty cool. Just go ahead and watch this spin around. And that was suggested by Swagger Jagger. But, yeah, it doesn't appear to actually be in the game's catalog yet. It must be rotating pretty quick. 40 days is the orbital period. To orbit the star. The next one, again, is from Swagger Jagger. He wants me to visit Gliese 581c. Is that the same thing, but just a different telescope, possibly? I don't know. Let's see if I can get that to actually load. Get rid of that. I can't get that one to load. Sorry, Swagger Jagger. Okay, so let's see here. I think we have... Okay, so Jackson Moore says Wolf 358 is technically a brown dwarf, not a star. That was from my